You open a heavily encrypted document at 3 in the morning, watching red classification stamps fade into dark text as your processor finishes running the bypass protocol. Your screen flickers under the cold blue light of your desk, illuminating rows of numerical coordinates that pinpoint a location 2,000 feet beneath the Nevada desert floor. For decades, traditional archives framed these deep underground facilities strictly through the lens of geological containment and nuclear research waste isolation. But as your eyes track through the technical speculative logs of File UAP UA-82, you realize this document constructs a far darker framework. The file suggests those concrete bunkers were designed around a physical discovery that challenges fundamental assumptions in theoretical materials science and physical engineering. Imagine a single physical artifact so dense and energy-rich that it generates a measurable magnetic distortion exceeding standard industrial baselines by a factor of 1,000. You are staring at a technical schematic from 1982 that logs a subterranean drilling operation conducted at a depth no civilian engineering team was ever permitted to map. The report details how heavy excavation heads made of reinforced tungsten carbide sheared into smooth fragments when striking a seamless metallic barrier embedded inside ancient granite bedrock. You begin to realize this scenario describes more than a routine geological survey or an ordinary mining effort, building a narrative around the recovery of an unclassified structural artifact. The archival records present a mystery that directly prompts you to question what lies beneath the Earth's crust. Why would a speculative intelligence dossier place an engineering file under a maximum security clearance tier reserved for theoretical defense anomalies? You have to ask yourself what kind of physical discovery possesses the raw conceptual impact to disrupt established scientific paradigms if its existence were ever confirmed. The file hints at a directive issued under executive authority, ordering the immediate removal of all civilian seismic sensors within a 50-mile radius of the drill site. You are forced to confront an uncomfortable puzzle, because if the excavation team had simply struck a natural vein of rare earth minerals, there would be no narrative logic in treat-rating the event as a top-secret technological encounter. The accepted story in geology textbooks is that deep earth anomalies are merely thermal pockets or magnetic noise produced by the natural rotation of the liquid iron core. But the raw data in File UAP UA-82 shatters that baseline by documenting an active frequency modulation that directly interfered with the team's diagnostic instruments. According to the decrypted sensor logs, the metallic barrier was radiating a repeating electromagnetic signature at precisely 14.2 GHz, causing solid-state relays to overload and digital readouts to loop endlessly. You realize this means the structure embedded beneath the granite behaves not like a passive mineral deposit, but like an operational piece of ancient technology. The dossier constructs a mathematical framework suggesting humanity might not be the original architects of this planet. As you cross-reference these hypothetical coordinates with satellite topographic maps, the investigation takes a dramatic turn that forces you to examine the broader historical record. You discover that archival records from multiple international research programs reflect similar subterranean surveys conducted at matching latitude markers over the past 4 decades. You are looking at a pattern of independent research efforts designed to observe a global subterranean phenomenon that standard textbook physics cannot fully account for. The file describes how the heart rates of the original excavation crew synchronized with the frequency pulses of the object, suggesting the emission was capable of interacting directly with biological systems without thermal harm. This is the exact moment where your perspective on the history of technology begins to shift, because the implications of UAP UA-82 extend far beyond a single desert site. You start to trace theoretical connections through modern history, noticing how rapid advancements in synthetic materials and optical waveguides align with the dates these files were sealed. You are exploring the hypothesis that modern consumer electronics might represent scaled-down applications derived from the study of unclassified physical artifacts. It hits you with immense clarity that our current digital landscape, from basic signal encryption to advanced computing architecture, could be built upon concepts harvested from an ancient underground discovery. If you are following this investigative dive into speculative history and declassified mysteries, take a second to hit the subscribe button and leave your perspective in the comments below. Your active participation helps push independent analysis forward, allowing us to continue exploring the fascinating stories and theoretical frameworks that official history often leaves buried in dark archives. The deeper you read into the technical appendices of the report, the more mind-bending the implications become, forcing you to ask the ultimate speculative question about our planet's past. What if the metallic entity sealed inside that granite layer was installed deliberately as part of an ancient monitoring system millions of years ago? You review the medical debriefings of the crew and notice that their neurological baseline readings remain significantly altered months after leaving the excavation zone. The entire narrative flips on its axis when you consider that the facility wasn't built merely to hide an object from the public, but to insulate the surrounding atmosphere from an active signal source. The core takeaway from File UAP UA-82 is not just a tale of scientific curiosity, but a profound exercise in questioning how human civilization interacts with unknown forces. You begin to view our technological journey as an ongoing process of discovering principles that may have existed long before modern history began. When you look at the lit sky of a major city at night, you see that infrastructure through a new lens, considering the possibility that our power systems mirror deeper natural and technological laws. The final line of the document remains unredacted, offering a lingering thought that will stay with you. The underground vault was not built as a tomb for the past, but as a window into an ongoing cosmic reality. You sit in silence as your computer fan hums softly in the dark room, absorbing the details of a theoretical protocol listed under classification NRO-88. This operational framework describes a contingency plan where automated systems are programmed to seal deep subterranean shafts with high-density concrete if localized signal levels exceed normal limits. You trace the bureaucratic lineage of this protocol through declassified files, revealing how defense planners prepared for extreme containment scenarios decades ago. This indicates that research teams treated subterranean electromagnetic anomalies with the highest level of caution, maintaining strict safety protocols for over 40 years. The physical nature of what the survey team encountered becomes even more intriguing when you examine the metallurgical analysis attached to the end of the file. The diagnostic tests indicate that the alloy sample possessed an ultra-pure crystalline structure without the microscopic flaws typically created by standard terrestrial forging methods. You realize the document is describing a material that challenges conventional manufacturing limits, pointing toward either an advanced terrestrial process or an exotic origin. The dossier notes that during active measurement phases, ambient temperature sensors around the test perimeter registered a consistent cold drop that defied standard thermodynamic models. You begin to see that the real mystery of File UAP UA-82 lies in how advanced physical concepts may have influenced the trajectory of modern research programs. The report outlines an experimental project known as ECHO 13, designed to study whether natural subterranean resonance could be adapted for early long-range communications networks. This suggests that early computer pioneers and theoretical physicists were constantly testing unconventional ideas to push the boundaries of signal processing. You are looking at a historical narrative where cutting-edge science and speculative theories blend into a fascinating story of human curiosity and technological evolution. Consider the immense operational focus required to conduct deep Earth research while keeping the preliminary data contained within specialized scientific circles. The document explains how dedicated shielding arrays were utilized around laboratory perimeters to prevent external radio interference from corrupting sensitive frequency measurements. This controlled testing environment ensured that delicate 14.2 GHz signals could be isolated and analyzed without cross-contamination from commercial broadcasts. You are examining a world where scientific inquiry operates behind strict protocols to separate genuine technical data from ambient environmental noise. What happens to your view of modern science when you realize that major technological leaps often stem from investigating unexplained physical phenomena? The report concludes with predictive computer models from the early computing era, estimating how public understanding of non-human artifacts would reshape educational and scientific institutions. It becomes clear that the high security surrounding files like UAP UA-82 was designed to allow researchers to study complex anomalies methodically without causing unnecessary public confusion. The fundamental question that remains for you to consider is how many other scientific breakthroughs began as classified anomalies waiting to be understood. You turn away from your screen, reflecting on the forensic narrative and the theoretical dots connected throughout this declassified dossier. The telemetry calculations presented in the report suggest that subterranean energy signatures might be linked across global observation stations in a unified natural network. The Earth emerges not merely as a passive rock in space, but as a dynamic system containing deep physical mysteries that science is only beginning to map. As you shut down your terminal and look out into the night, you are left with a perspective that permanently alters how you view the world around you. Beneath the surface of everyday life lies a vast universe of unexplained history waiting to be discovered.